Good day, lovely people. Welcome back to my Fantasy World Cup 2026 team preview videos. This is good. As promised, this will be my second one, my alternate team preview. The list of players that for one reason or another didn't quite make the cut for my first team. One or two potentially might be promoted, or depending on whether I decide to go for broke, make some last minute changes. But for now, this is just going to be me going for the team and the strategies and that's a bit of my extended thoughts. Go into this World Cup in general. The teams that in particular the first match day I think are going to are good either go far in the groups, potentially take it all, potentially win them, or a few teams that they'll have one good game. They'll start off pretty strongly, and then for the next couple of games they're gonna find it hard. So the way this team is going to work is that it's going to be kind of a mix between an alternate team of players from teams in the group stage I think are going to perform really well, going to finish strong, likely qualify top of their group, as well with also the scouting bonus. I did keep the selection of mostly players at least 2/3 under 5% to get a nice extra 2%, but also a mix of teams that I think will grow into the group stage. And let me explain what that means. For about 2/3 this team has played. At least 2/3 of this group of players are from teams that I don't think are going to finish with maximum points in the group. I think they'll still be in within a shout of qualifying by minimum the third game of the group stage, and that is significant because my chip strategy is going to be no chips game week 1, possible wild cards on 2, but game week 3 it's probably going to be 12 man, so no wild card game week 3. You probably think I'm crazy right now. There will be some names from this group of players that will likely play each single game no matter what, and be with a decent chance of picking up some points in all 3 of their games. But there are some where there'll be 1 week punts, and there'll be one or two. There'll be at least 2 defenders and 2 midfielders that will rotate with each other between the first 2 match days of the group stage. And I want to pick, and for those 5 players, I want to pick a player that has potentially a rocky start, could get absolutely slaughtered, could absolutely get maximum points, do very well in the first game. And for me, the first player I'll talk about, that for me that typifies that no better is Yassine Bono of Morocco. Obviously playing against 5-time World Cup winners Brazil, full of flair, full of style, full of attacking talent, against a team which is likely going to dominate possession and create quite a few chances. But let's not forget, this is the Atlas Lions we're talking about. Finishing the World Cup semi-finals last year were a very tactically astute, robust, very solid team, really hard to break down. It's not them just going to be camping in their own half for a lot of games. Are being dominated in terms of possession. They still have some attacking talent going forward. That Brahim Diaz, he is quite a player. So this is a Carlo Ancelotti Brazil, who a lot of people, I've seen some people tipping them not to do very well. And no Neymar, no Richarlison, gone are the days of Thiago Silva, of Dani Alves, of Marcelo, Casemiro past his prime. So they're not quite as strong as they were. And I think Morocco have all the tools in their arsenal to really hurt Brazil. And Yassine Bono, he'll face a lot of shots on goal. He'll make quite a few saves, and I could definitely see that. I can see that being a low scoring game, potentially a draw. And if Morocco do survive an onslaught of Brazil and get away with a 3-0 absolute humiliation, a spanking, then the next 2 games are Scotland and Haiti. So that's why I've gone with Bono, and my reserve goalkeeper, as you can see here, is Alexander Schlager. This format is so much better, isn't it? Like Xbox Game Bar. Wow. Anyway, so my reserve goalkeeper, Alexander Schlager, against one of the lowest ranked teams, Jordan. I believe their form has been pretty poor, and and I want to target also, as well as target the teams that are not only ranked low in the FIFA World Rankings, but their form has not been great. So Jordan, Qatar, South Africa, like give me those give me teams playing against them. Absolutely target them. So that's why Alexander Schlager is here. Highly likely, I could definitely see him playing the first game, but because obviously Argentina and Austria is probably the group of death. Hence why I've not picked any players in my first team for that group, except with the possibility one. We'll talk about him. But Yassine Bono, Alexander Schlager, my two goalkeepers. As you can imagine, it's touch and go with Bono. Well, if he could keep a clean sheet, make a bunch of saves, that would be fantastic. But just in case, Alexander Schlager, yeah, Austria, they're solid both going forward and defensively, also going forward. But you'd fancy them keeping a clean sheet. So that's why he's there. And for the next two games, Bono against Haiti and Scotland, the fixtures are definitely favourable for him. Wow, this is so much better. I'm probably not going to have to make many cuts, hopefully. So my next defender of choice, here we go, is Ritsu Doan of Japan. Yep. Obviously up against a very physically strong Netherlands team, full of talent themselves. But if you look at their recent form and their build up to the World Cup, it's been a bit of a rocky road. So Jurien Timber pulled out a Netherlands squad. Bart Verbruggen recently picked up an injury. Squeezed past against Uzbekistan. I'm aware that they dominated chances and they dominated the game. But what the most clinical in front have got, and Netherlands have shown to be a little shaky when it comes to World Cup campaigns. Under such a rich vein of talent, very talented squad, it's going to be a lack of cutting edge that could potentially cost them. And let's not forget Japan, the land of the rising sun. They've given the big teams a real go, haven't they? It's Germany, Spain. So I think they have just an incredibly attacking team with like remarkable athleticism, technical ability, courage, fight. I think they have all the tools in their kit to give this group a real go against Sweden, who didn't win a qualifying game. Tunisia, whose form has been pretty poor as well leading up to group stage. I think if not this game, Japan will certainly with a strong chance of getting through this group against Tunisia and Sweden. So that's what I've gone with Doan. So even if he doesn't pick up clean sheets, which I can see against Tunisia, possibly Sweden, he also has attacking returns as well, and he's very much the risk pick in this backline. Fitting, we'll move on to a more safer pick for Game Week 1. Andrew Robertson of Scotland recently moved to Spurs. His chance creation and assist record for Scotland really speaks for itself. Another strong qualifying campaign. In form, recently picked up another assist in a recent friendly against Bolivia. He's expected to start. Again, a very favourable fixture against Haiti, and he's definitely going to be one of those rotation players with Ritsu Doan. So of course Haiti is looking pretty good, isn't it? And certainly a player him or McTominay or even Lawrence Shankland, who's only 5 mil, so it's not quite fully nailed, but he's been pretty good form as well in international friendlies. And so Robertson, or Scotland player in general, I'm a little uneasy going in without a Scotland player in my first team, but hey, that's why he's here. That's why he's in the alternate. Robertson, I think is really a strong shout for not only a clean sheet but potential attacking returns as well. I think he's a very good option, and you can clearly see why. I would say he's in so many teams, but he's only 5%. Though he will lose that, of course, scouting bonus if that creeps up by another 0.1. So next player on my list was again once I saw the group stage draws, then it's a player from a team I knew I want to try and get in somewhere, and that's Sergino Dest of USA. He's the right back. Obviously notched in an assist in the last World Cup in Qatar for a Pulisic goal against Iran. I like Dest because he's a little cheaper than Anthony Robertson. Yes, also scored an absolute screamer in the last friendly against Germany. But the odds of him doing that again, it's possible, maybe an assist, a less flashy goal contribution. But I went with an alternative, and that was Sergino Dest. Dest in what I think is a if you put the aspect of the pressure and mixed reception going to this tournament from their own fan base, even the quality, if you want. From a perspective, I think that you would say a plethora of quality in their side. But if you put that aside, they have a fairly favourable group stage: Paraguay, Australia, Turkey. So they're up against Paraguay, who I believe have the second best defence, who qualified second best defence in the Copa America qualifiers. I mean, only Ecuador had a better defensive record than them. But on the flip side of that, they don't score too many goals. I don't think their form has been great as well going into the tournament. USA, you imagine with just see it, the passion they have for the game soccer, the home crowd behind them, and the undeniable quality at the back, in front of goal, as well as the back. So I've opted to go for a defender. I was close to picking Christian Pulisic, not only for this team, but potentially also potentially my first team. But I decided to go with defender. I think there's more. I actually think they have a better chance of keeping a clean sheet than they do scoring. Personally, I think they will win against Paraguay, but I could see him keeping a clean sheet more. Hence why I've gone with Dest. He's a mainstay. He'll likely play all 3 games for me. Potential rotation risk if they win their first 2 games, but I can easily replace him with someone else. So Gino Dest, mainstay for me. Good clean sheet potential, as well as attacking threat to boot as well. In my opinion, a favourable group. The next player is next player is going to be my security pick. I got there in the end, which is Nico Schlotterbeck of Germany. Just saying that name, Nico Schlotterbeck. It's like J Okocha. It's one of those fun names to say. So but he's playing with German defender. Talked about them in the previous team video. A favourable group of one of the top ranked teams. He will be a mainstay. If 1 or 2 of my punts, not only game week 1 and 2, don't pay off, so he's be a mainstay. He's expected to start. He has, as of now, the ownership bonus, the scouting bonus, so he'll pick up 2 points no matter what. He looks. I think he's pretty safe to play alongside one of Rudiger or Tar. And he's easily upgradable as well. If they do go through by the second game, I can easily switch him out for someone else. So Schlotterbeck. 5th choice for my defence is a player I'm a bit nervous about, and that's Ryerson. Is it Julian Ryerson of Norway? So, who I'm a little nervous. I likely won't have play in my first team for the opening group stage game. Okay. Once again, he's follows the main template of this team: the stick or twist, the all or nothing approach. He's plays Iraq. In their first game, mixed form was Norway, one of the best qualifying teams, World Cup qualifiers going in. In recently picked up a draw against Morocco. Has player 15 assists in the Bundesliga. Loves to get forward on free kicks, on set pieces. In fact, he might even be a better Aussie in terms of creativity and chances creation. He might even be a better pick than Erdegaard. We may go on to my final changes after this video. But Rice is there, the one punch wonder. But against Senegal and France, it's looking like he may not keep a clean sheet. But that's why that's why Schlotterbeck is here, Dest is here, and potentially after game week 2, I can see at least one of these defenders being switched out. So the idea is I will have minimum 3 defenders for game weeks 1 and 2. I think a decent chance of picking up points, picking up returns, whether it's clean sheet or going forward. In midfield, my first choice is Kenan Yildiz of Turkey, a team that's getting a little. I feel like their team's getting a little overlooked. Just qualifying, they had a solid qualifying campaign. I believe they they finished pretty highly. Okay, so they finished second behind Spain, but in their group. But make no mistake, Turkey still have a lot of talent in that a lot of talent in their squad, particularly in the midfield area. There's Arda Güler, Real Madrid player, also created ranks pretty highly in chances creation, expected assists, goals returns. He's of course produced some screamers in the Euros, scream or two in the Euros. Euro Germany 2024. Hakan Çalhanoğlu again is on set pieces. The Inter Milan playmakers has a bit of a wild career, but he's got wicked delivery, wicked shot on him, and also has the scouting bonus right now. I think he's also a very good option as well, and I believe those two they're ahead of Kenan Yildiz, sorry, in expected goals, assists, chances of creation. But I went with Yildiz because the Juventus winger, I think he's exciting. He's another Doan. He's a first game pick and will rotate with one of these four midfielders. Second one, next choice is Rafinha of Brazil. Again, this is my rotation player who had a bit of a tricky start against Morocco, and yet this is of course part of the risk of this risk factor of this team is that you notice I do have one or two players that clash within my own team. It's not something you'd see often in professional fantasy drafts, but again that's part of the excitement, and that's why we have a 15-man squad. So Rafinha, he's on penalties, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and Joe, I think with the absence of Neymar, Richarlison, Vinicius Jr. is not quite in sparkling form like let's say Olise form, for example. I think Rafinha will likely be Brazil's biggest threat against a very well drilled Morocco side who will do a lot of defending. I think Rafinha could be the player to unlock that tight defence, and if he doesn't find a way through his next two fixtures, he's got Haiti and Scotland next, so still a favourable group, and for and certainly a very useful player to have in a no wildcard strategy for game week 3. He's more of a long-term player. The next three midfielders will likely be the starting midfielders, and I can see leaving on. So next, Kevin De Bruyne of Belgium, of course playing for Napoli. A little over the scouting bonus, unfortunately, at 5.5. I was thinking about Leandro Trossard as well for that scouting bonus as well, especially for one or two game punts. But if Belgium do qualify by the third game going against New Zealand, which I highly suspect they will, I could see both Trossard and De Bruyne potentially being rotated. De Bruyne is a mainstay player. He's a core player for a Belgian team with a lot of defensive personnel. In fact, which is why I haven't trusted any of the defenders aside from Thibaut Courtois, but still pose a lot of attacking threat going forward, and a team with a very threatening, very potent attack is more in a tournament. In my opinion, is more dangerous than a team with solid defense and not a great attack with a few exceptions. So that's why Kevin De Bruyne's here. He's on set piece as well. I mean, his accolades, his professionalism, his ability speaks for itself. Who I believe his minutes will be managed, but I think he'll also be a key player for Belgium going forward in this campaign. I think like Doku, who I do think is probably the standout option for a Belgium attack especially in the group stages. But I think De Bruyne's being slept on a little bit. Likely be transferred out for the game against New Zealand. Leroy Sané of Germany, again, targeting the lower ranked teams, Curacao. I know it's a little boring having two more Germans on my main team and my alternate team, but the pull of I needed at least two core players, at least 5 in total of this team, and the German players were just too good to ignore. Sané, of course, is tipped as looks like he will be starting on the right hand side for Germany. He has the scouting bonus, of course. So for a player who form-wise hasn't been again, hasn't been sparkling. It's been a little out of favour at times in the German national team, but he seems to have nailed down a place once again. He's no doubt still a talented player going forward. We know what Sané is capable of, and could be. He's one of those. He could be a really nice alternative, but also a risk of, basically risk of being rotated for a German team. I fully expect to be qualified by game week 3. He'll likely be another transfer by then as well. All right, quick cut there. Just had to make space on my camera. So moving on to my 5th midfield choice for this alternate gung-ho team, and that is Marcel Sabitzer, who was very close to making my main team. Of course, looks to be the main creative force for Austria, playing on the left mid, I believe. It's in some sparkling form, or just good form in international friendlies. Of course, it recently played and scored in a friendly game in a 1-0 win, assisted by Stefan Poch. Austria against Tunisia, and got the only goal. It looks like Sabitzer is potentially one of their main threats going forward. Yeah, he's a player who's doesn't just serve as a first game week punch, but he's also a potential secret weapon, a potential risk. Yes, but to play against Jordan is very possible. Very possible could come away with an attacking return in that. But against Argentina, the team hasn't changed too much, and Austria, they are known to pull off a shock or two against some of the bigger nations. I know Austria, they're a solid team. They've got their core group of players against aging Argentina's side. Could we see potential shock there? Although with Lionel Messi, I mean, anything's possible, right? So 6.8, I think he's 6.8, and as well as the scouting bonus, I think he's a very underrated option. If you're looking for a mid-price midfielder, I think he's one of the better ones out there. I think despite being in a group of death, his fixtures, I think they're kindly laid out. Ultimately, my forward line now, and my first pick is Cody Gakpo of Netherlands. If anyone's going to make it happen for Netherlands, if everyone's going to be on the end of goals, it looks like Cody Gakpo's the one. We found out last night, as the time of recording this, against Uzbekistan in a friendly. He's on penalties. He put 2 away, and which is the reason why they won. For a Netherlands team that their warm up it's been a bit of a rocky road. Well, with injuries and unable to put a lot of chances away. Gakpo, like the last World Cup, it looks like he will be once again the go-to attacking player, the go-to man to find the goals for Netherlands. Particularly, I can see him scoring against Japan and Sweden. Also potentially already qualified, although don't say it's too late. I think Japan as well could get a result. Could pick up a result. The players in my team I can see potentially rotated are Schlotterbeck, Sané, De Bruyne, and of course Mr. Ronaldo here. We'll talk about him in a minute, but I could definitely see minimum 4 players qualifying for after game week 2. I feel comfortable enough for playing Gakpo for all 3 games. Next striker, this next man, he needs no introduction. CR7, Cristiano Ronaldo. As I mentioned, if Bruno Fernandes doesn't take penalties, then while he's on the field, this guy will. Ronaldo finally wanting to lead Portugal to World Cup glory in his mercurial, illustrious centurion career. It's only matched by one other player in the world for this century. So Ronaldo looking to add to his already glittering accolades. It's scoring at major football national tournaments, and against likes of Congo and Uzbekistan, it could concede a lot of open play chances. You feel like Ronaldo will only add to that tally in at least the group stages of this World Cup. Plus, it's Ronaldo. Like how many more tournaments can we expect to see him play? And will we get the chance to pick him? Plus, I think his minutes will be managed, but I also generally think he'll be a decent option. Also, at 10 mil, should Portugal qualify by the second group game, he'll be easy to transfer out, easy to get rid of. So Ronaldo's in there. And the final pick is Antoine Semenyo, a player I don't see talked about that much, even in the Fantasy Premier League, all the FPL in FPL social media, and all the content creators and scouts. I don't see this guy getting talked about much. Antoine Semenyo. He has the scouting bonus. Of course, the now Manchester City player. He's had once again a sparkling season for Manchester City. It's a word of the day today. I don't know why. But Semenyo scoring 17 goals. Let me check. Third top goal scorer for a non-striker, which is pretty decent. Playing in a Ghana team where he'll most likely be the talisman in a potentially tricky group. Yes, hence why he is a punt, and that's why Cody Gakpo and Cristiano Ronaldo are there. You'd expect to see go deep into the group stages. But with an opening game against Panama and with the talent that not just Semenyo has, but Ghana have, going forward, make no mistake. They will be a tricky opponent that I think people give credit for. Of course, they've put on strong. They are known to put on strong World Cup campaigns recently. You think of South Africa 2010. So of course they had likes of Asamoah Gyan, and they had a strong squad then. But I think Ghana will be a trickier customer than people give credit for. Even for England, make no mistake. So that's why Semenyo's here, and a strong game. Again, potentially a 1 week punt, but also if he builds up some good form ahead of England, and just they're not looking the most settled in the game against Croatia, then it again could certainly be a potential mainstay. So that rounds off my team, and there are definitely a few names in there that I am a little. There are a few names in there that I would like to have. I'm a little nervous going with my main team with certainly no wild card for the first two games. I would really like to include the likes of Ryerson, Sabitzer, and one of De Bruyne or Doku, and a Scotland player. So though it's one or two of those players I'm a little nervous not having in there, but I think there's good quality all round, and it's like I said, it's targeting the weaker teams. I mean, you have at least two that are targeting, with all due respect, the weaker teams. But that's my alternative team. It serves as a mix of 1 week punts, take a bit of risk, but players that you'd expect to go deep in the group stage, and hopefully won't need to transfer, won't need a wild card come game week 3. But also a core group of players in there that hopefully as well they'll fulfill their favourites tag, or potentially get some attacking returns as well to hold this team together. So thank you guys so much for watching once again. I'm not sure if I'll be doing another video on one of these this Fantasy World Cup. It depends on how much I enjoy it. Really, if there's anything else more I have to offer, I may do. It's possible I may do a live stream if depending on if that'll be easier for me to keep producing content if the finals continue to interest me. But for now on, but don't be surprised if this will be the last video produced. But I've had fun making this, so once again, I thank you for your interest. Let me know what you guys think as well. What are your teams like, or your predictions? Let me know. Let's get a conversation going. But thank you so much once again for watching this. Take care, fellow viewers. Strap in for the long haul. I'm gonna go turn on my Dyson now. Bye.